A place to be, to groom your words, a place that is secured for the rest of mine. No other place but Burial Schools is the best.
Hello, my wonderful viewers. Welcome to today's lesson on social studies. My name is Mrs. Okeke. On social studies today, we are going to be looking at the topic risk factor in eating bad food. Again, risk factor in eating bad food. What is risk factor? Risk factor in eating bad food are those things that cause diseases or illness after eating bad food. Again, risk factor in eating bad food are those things that cause diseases or illnesses after eating bad food. Risk factor in eating bad food are those things that cause diseases or illnesses after eating bad food. This simply means those things that makes us sick or causes illnesses after eating bad or contaminated food. Those things that makes us sick or causes illness after eating bad food. Okay, now we are going to be looking at examples of risk factor in food. Examples of risk factors in food. Those things that contaminate our food, that makes our food bad. Example. Okay, examples of risk factors in food are: number one, we can make food bad by adding what we should not add. Making food bad by adding what we should not add. Example of making food bad by adding what you should not add: adding sugar to beans. Adding sugar to beans. After cooking beans, you add sugar. Like I was saying, when you add sugar to your already cooked beans, it totally spoils the beans. It makes the food bad, and when you eat such food, you may be sick. 2. We can make food bad by changing the container of the food and selling it. We can make food bad by changing the container of the food and selling it. We can make food bad by changing the container of the food and sealing it. Okay, by using another container of another product to seal another product. Example, using a Gino tomato paste container to seal a Clapper tomato paste container. Changing the container, swapping different containers, using another container of another company to seal another company's product. By that, you are committing food fraud, and it can make the food bad. It can make the food bad and dangerous for us to eat. Number 3, we can make food bad by taking away some things that are adding some new. We can make food bad by taking away some things and adding some new things to the food and changing the label. We can make food bad by taking away some things and adding some new things to the food and changing the label. When you add different new things to a, for example, adding another thing into an already, for example, if you remove some quantity from Milo container and add sand to make it up and seal it back, changing the label to sell it as another beverage. when you remove some quantity from a Milo container, add sand to it, seal it back to sell it as another beverage. That is also dangerous to our health. Number 4, we can make food bad by spraying the food with chemicals that are poisonous. Okay. When we can make food bad by spraying the food with a chemical that is poisonous. Example of this, our farmers make use of different chemicals. They use chemicals to preserve crops. They use chemicals to kill pests in the farm. They use chemicals also to kill grass. When these chemicals touches our food, it contaminates our food and they become poisonous for us to consume. Okay, I hope the topic was well understood, but let's go back to the topic again. Risk factor in eating bad food. Risk factor in eating bad food are those things that cause diseases or illnesses after eating bad food. Examples of risk factor in food. Number 1, we can make food bad by adding what we should not add. 2, we can make food bad by changing the container of the food and sealing it. 3, we can make food bad by taking away some things and adding some new things to the food and changing the label. 4, we can make food bad by spraying the food with chemicals that is poisonous. Now it's time for our homework. Here is our homework on the board. Number 1, what is risk factor in eating bad food? 2, mention 2 examples of risk factor in food. 2 examples of risk factor in food. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson. I hope the lesson was interesting. Hope to see you next time. Remember to stay safe. Bye.